Morning. As promised, we're going to install the DynoJet Power Vision 3 on the FTR. Going to do it today. Sorry about the delay, guys, but I've been rather busy with another project. Yeah, I've never had this thing apart myself, so I'm not too sure how we get the seat off, but I guess we'll work through it together. I wouldn't mind taking the airbox off too and having a bit of a look down in there. Got the laptop set up out here in the garage. We've downloaded the Power Vision software. There's an installation guide there that comes with it. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a look at that. See how that goes. See what we've got to do. Should be interesting. Okay, that was pretty painless. Yeah. Well, I'm not really seeing anything that looks like the ECU there. Wonder where it is. That's all fuel tank there, so it's not there. Airbox there. Wonder what's under these things. There's a plug there. No, that just looks like a power outlet. A few wires there. There's a throttle servos there. A big mess of wires disappears under there. Problem is, there's very little on the internet about these things yet. I haven't got a workshop manual or anything like that. There's a fuse box under there. By the looks of that. Fuse box there, and there's a plug there. That could be the diagnostics port. I'll see if that matches up with what we've got on the Power Vision. Certainly looks similar. Alright, we might flip the bike around the other way so I can put you back on the tripod. But that's the plug for the DynoJet. So let's get that plugged in. Actually, before we do that, we might pull the airbox off and have a look in there. Why not? Wonder how that comes apart. I'm just curious as to what's under here. Anyone else who's curious, stay tuned. Another job that's on the list for these FTR is to move this whole instrument cluster forward a little bit, because you can't see it. You got to tip your helmet down to have a look at it, and you can't get to the ignition key. It's, you know, I know it's the first of this new model, so I'm sure they'll sort that out in later models. All right, what's under here? Okay, there's the bolts that hold the covers on. holds them on from this other side here. Just plastic clips. Oh, the whole thing's only plastic clipped on by the looks of that. Wait how that comes out yet. Just plastic trim clips, that's all. Yeah, it's a couple of rubber plugs there, so unclip it across there. There's the computer there. It's all very neatly laid out in here. So this strap goes right across the top of the airbox. We'll take that out of the way. Oh, I see, it's like it's a bayonet fitting. It's a twist one. They're not here to make our jobs harder, usually. No easy pop off. There she goes. That's got the whole filter element on it. Oops. That's a restrictive looking filter element. Crikey's, I reckon there's some room for improvement there with a high flow element. Definitely. Have to look into that down the track. You can't really see the throttle butterflies, unfortunately. Oh, you can just see them down in there. Top secret stuff. So I can't show you that. Alright, I managed to get a better view here. So remember, the Indian's got fly-by-wire throttle, so there's only an electronic connection between the throttle and the throttle butterfly. So you can see there. It's a bit more of a jerky motion than I had envisaged. That's quite interesting the way that moves. Rightio. I'm going to start it up and we can watch what happens. It's cold. Turn the ignition on. There's an initial click of the throttle butterfly there. We're powered up. I don't know how much vibration we're going to get. A bit of vibration there. Oh, I can't really see what's going on. That's better. Of course, it's going to run reasonably well. There you go. You could just see that butterfly kicked for a second there to try to keep it going. But it was a bit slow. The idle's a bit slow. That's me, just to keep it going. Nice. And she died again. All right. Interesting. All right, we'll plug this into the diagnostics port, like that. Oh, that engine's a bit hot there. Just bring you in a bit closer so you can see what's going on there. We just turn the vehicle on and it should automatically start the scan for what software is installed on the ECU. And it's upside down, of course. Should have known. There we go. Are we in focus there? Probably not. Alright, here we go. Can you see what that's saying there? No compatible stock files. An ECU read is required to begin the tuning process. Okay, so I'll just bump the camera there. "15 minutes to complete. Press to continue." I missed that bit. Here we go. All right, we're done. Read successful. All required files found. Oh. We'll get to the next bit. Oh, there's a couple of different tunes in there already. I'm not sure why that would be. That's interesting. All right, we're ready to pair the device with the ECU. Now we have to go down to the stock file, enter, and press start. Press start to continue. Now once you've done this pairing with this vehicle, it won't work with any other one unless you download the tuning software, so in other words like you're running a business. So now once I've paired it to this, that's the only one we've got. It's the only vehicle it'll work with. So it's erasing the original tune, it's writing the base, its tune back to it, but it will remember the original tune anyway, and I can put that original tune back on if I want. Okay, this is going to take a while, so we might pause momentarily. Rightio, it's updated the tune. So now turn the key off, then on. And it says you've got to leave the key off for 45 seconds. Back, as you can see, got all the covers and everything back together on the FTR. Because I had a few problems, I could not get the unit to pair. Didn't matter what I tried to do, just would not work. And in the end, it's a few emails backwards and forwards to DynoJet to try to find out why it wouldn't pair. And they sent me a couple of updated files, and I loaded those in, and it paired, it worked. So you see we're getting some telemetry and everything there now, but we'll come in a bit closer and I can just show you the procedure that I went through to pair it, and you can have a look at the files. So as I was saying, the initial files that it came loaded with wouldn't work. So just got to remember where the files are. Okay, so these files, these are the ones they sent me. The only difference I could see between the ones that were originally loaded on it and these ones was an extra digit on the end of the file number. So whether they were slightly different, but the error the unit was coming up with was telling me that the files that were on here had already been loaded onto another bike. So the unit was thinking it was already paired to another bike, so it wouldn't load those files and it wouldn't pair to my bike. They sent me the new files, and to put the files on here is as easy as open the folder in this and open the folder in Windows and just drag and drop the file straight in. And from here, they went straight onto the bike and they worked fine. So now when we go to vehicle information, we can see here's the paired vehicle, here's the VIN number, model number, all the data you want to know there about the ECUs, everything's there. Alright, well it's still running quite poorly, even with the ECU flash update. It's still not idling very well, and if anything it might actually be a little worse when it's cold. And it's probably because I've taken the cat out and de-restricted the muffler, and it's probably running, it seems to be running a little lean. If you noticed in that video where I was looking down the throat of the induction trumpets, just before it died it coughed and it actually flashed. There's a small fuel flash back out of the throttle body, and that suggests it's running too lean. That was just before it stalled. So we're going to data log it. To data log it, we've just got to go back to the main menu. We'll just press data logging has now started. Alright, we'll start it and see how she goes. I had to restart the data logging because obviously the power dropped off when it started. Okay, there she stalled. Now unfortunately when I go to restart it again, then I'm going to have to restart the data log, so I'm going to end up with a few data logs. Unevenly it's running. Right, I think that's enough. That'll be enough for the purposes of this experiment. Alright, let's go and plug this in the computer and see if we can see the data log. Let's have a look at the software now. DynoJet Power Core. We'll open that up and then we'll plug in the PV3. Okay, so we go to the tuning software and plug the unit in. Rightio guys, I'm still learning this software myself, so obviously if you know what you're doing, just make some allowances. Well, we'll just go into the DynoJet software selector tool. We go to C3 tuning software, and then to have a look at the tunes, it's as simple as going to the open tab, clicking on that and dragging one of these tunes in. The bottom one here, this is the stock tune, this is the Indian tune. This one here is the one that I've modified. I've already had a bit of a play with it. Now what we can do is do a right click on here and go compare to stock. And if we have a look at the idle speed, which is what it's on now, we'll go to, this is the one I've altered. So you can see here that this is all in centigrade. From -7 to 11, it's 1500 RPMs now. to 29, 1500 RPMs. Or if you have a look at the graph here, once it gets to 29, it'll start to drop down a little bit. Once it gets to around 50 degrees, and then it'll come 60 degrees back down to standard, which is 1200 RPMs, 1250 to be precise. All right, so that's a quick overview. And to change the idle speed, it's as easy as grabbing one of these points and dragging it down, and there you can see at 11.3 degrees C, it's now down at 1460 RPM. But we want it up a bit higher, so we're back to 1500 there. That's how easy it is to change something, and then you just save this file, and it writes the updated file automatically back to the PV3. And there's so many things to choose from here. Fuel, startup fuel. So this is the one that we're looking at for maybe increasing the richness a little bit when it's cold, just to try to get a little bit of that roughness out. So you can change these data points. I haven't played with any of this yet. It's going to be a steep learning curve. But we've updated it now, so we'll go and have a look on the bike and see if we can update this new idle speed settings to 15 RPM and see if that's going to work. Let's do it. Next step is to see if we can download this upgraded idle speed map to the ECU. Flash the tune, that one there. Okay, it's initializing. It's erasing the old tune. This will probably take a couple of minutes, so we'll do a bit of mucking around. When it's done, it should up the cold idle speed to 1500 RPM. This is pretty interesting stuff, I think. Alright, this looks like it's going to be the slow bit. Alright, to verify the flash, turn the key off and on. It was 45 seconds, we'll just leave it for a few seconds and see how we go. Any of these ECUs, any computer related device has got capacitors that store power and hold memory. Alright, let's go back on again. Right, I'm not sure how we actually verify that it's updated the one that I've changed. Yeah, maybe I should have changed the name or something. Oh yeah, that's the latest one there, so that's the one at the top, so that's the one I've updated. Alright. So one thing to do, kick it in the guts, see if it's going to idle a bit faster. My piston's not going to fall off there. No, rightio, let's do it.